Some 57 million customers and drivers. And Ryan, if that's not bad enough, the company apparently paid to try to keep this hack under wraps.
Yeah, this happened last year in 2016 under Travis's watch, the former CEO, and rather than fessing up to the FTC that they've been hacked and reporting it to regulators, instead they decided to pay the attackers themselves to kind of delete the data and keep it quiet. This is a huge blow for Uber. I mean, they've been going through all kinds of changes over there with their privacy problems and London banning them and everything else they've been dealing with. And here's the really ironic thing, is during the attack, when they were negotiating with the hackers, they were already negotiating with the FTC on a settlement for other privacy issues. So this is just a huge blow for any consumer that's using Uber. They're pretty much signaling that we're not protecting you or your data, and if it does get breached, we're not going to tell you about it. That is a huge, terrible signal to send to your users and your drivers.
Yeah,
and the thing. Go ahead.
Sorry, Ryan, and we know that Kalanick is no longer with the company. Is this something that you think that Uber can move past?
I certainly hope so. The new CEO took over in September, and she's obviously trying to do her best to make the company a little more transparent and try to kind of get rid of the old ways of the way that Uber was running under the old regime. But this is a huge blow to consumer confidence, and obviously the drivers. 50 million riders, information of email addresses, phone numbers, things like that were compromised. And on the driver's side, 7 million driver's licenses and phone numbers and private information. That is just devastating.
Yeah, so much information out there. Okay, let's switch now to net neutrality. The FCC chair says that he wants to do away with these rules, which he called, Ryan, heavy-handed internet regulations, but that's not what critics out there are saying.
Yeah, Ajit Pai, he made his intentions pretty clear back in April that he was intending to roll back the FCC regulations under Title II that kind of classified the internet as a utility, much like electricity and telephone service. And that gave a bunch of consumer protections, the ability to go into place, things like allowing all internet packets to be treated equally on all ISPs. So, for example, if you're watching a video from YouTube, that'll be treated exactly the same as your email, or if you're sending data through like Twitter or something, it's treated the exact same as Netflix data. Under the new repealed regulations, there is a possibility. Now, nobody knows if this is really going to happen. Ajit Pai, for example, he says that these are all possibilities, but doesn't mean that they will happen. But some of the possibilities are ISPs could charge more for different services. And there's kind of an example that we can already see. In Portugal, for example, their internet service providers tend to treat internet connection the way our cable companies do. So, for example, you'd be charged a certain fee for a base service just to connect to the internet, and then you'd purchase particular packages for things like social media, so you could have access to Facebook and Twitter and Snapchat, and then another package where you could get streaming services like YouTube and Netflix and Hulu. This also gives the ability for these companies, these ISPs like Comcast, Verizon, AT&T, to give preferential treatment to their own networks or their own media companies on their networks. And we've already seen them do this through zero data. So, for example, if T-Mobile has a connection with YouTube, they could say, well, we're not going to use any of this towards your data caps, and we'll let you stream YouTube for free, which looks like it's good for consumers. But on the other side, you've got AT&T that's in negotiations to purchase Time Warner. They already own DirecTV. And then you've got Comcast that owns Universal and NBC. So they could say, well, we're going to allow Universal or NBC or HBO private access. We're not going to do anything with their data or their quality on our services, but we're going to charge places like Netflix or YouTube an exorbitant fee to push their data through on our networks.
Yeah, it seems as though it does. It seems like it's a big victory for those big internet service providers. But we also know that some of those other companies that you mentioned, Google, Facebook, Amazon, are urging that the rules remain in place. Again, that vote expected to happen next month. We'll be checking back with you then, Ryan. As always, thanks so much, and happy Thanksgiving.
You're welcome. Happy Thanksgiving.